All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Pipe Bomb City, and welcome to my NXT Takeover The End predictions. Also, I just want to say this is a bit early for a predictions video. All right, the actual event is on June 8th, and I'm doing it May 30th, so it's a little bit before. And of course, there's probably going to be one or two more matches added to this card, but I'm not going to predict those because these are the main four matches that we only have announced for now. So anything else, I'm not going to be able to predict. So I'm getting this out now. I'm going to be tuning in NXT Takeover The End. I'll probably make a review on it, guys. But here we go. Before this video begins, be sure to check out my Instagram at instagram.com/pipebombcity. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video, all right? So getting into this, again, this isn't going to be the longest video because we only have four matches. But I just want to say right now, I am really looking forward to this card. Triple H, also, I must mention, a lot of people are saying that this is going to be the end, because Triple H tweeted on June 8th live on the WWE Network, NXT TakeOver The End. Where do we go from here? Now, this probably has something to do with the draft. There has been some things going around that there is a takeover already announced for August. So I don't know what this means. Maybe there's going to be like a new kind of live event for NXT. I think this is the 10th takeover. We had NXT Arrival, and then we had NXT Takeover, and then all the other ones following that. So this could be the last NXT Takeover, which is a shame because I fucking love these things. But maybe it's not. This might have something to do with the draft, since that's on July 19th that week. So I don't even know. It probably has something to do with that. And if not, it could be like a whole new event scheduled. I don't know. But right now, the talent in NXT, I also must mention, it's kind of thin right now. Everybody that you see on screen right now, this is pretty much it. I can't think off the top of my head anyone else. Corbin and Cruz, they already went up. So, that's kind of it. I can't think of anything. Alexa Bliss, Carmella for the women, but I can't really think of anyone for the men. That's kind of it right here. And that's fine, but I'm probably forgetting someone important, but I haven't watched NXT, an actual NXT show, since I think about maybe February last year. But I don't know. Of course, I watched all the takeovers. I just haven't watched like an episode, But again, these guys are great, but the talent pool is really thin down there, and they've signed everyone there is to sign, so it's not their fault, But again, other than the Young Bucks, there isn't a lot, and of course, some people from Ring of Honor, but other than those guys, other than Jay Lethal, other than Drew Galloway, well, he's already fucking gone, and people like that, other than those guys, there really isn't much love. And here, I think everyone's saying, I think Shinsuke Nakamura should go up, and Balor and Joe. I think Balor and Joe, one of those two is going to go up very shortly. But again, we need this for the takeover, and that's fine, And Nakamura, he's got to be down there for longer. He's had an amazing match against Sami Zayn at Dallas, and that was fucking amazing. And here he is against Aries, and I'd really like to see Nakamura as NXT champ. Again, if he is going to the main roster like people say he is, I'm totally fine with Austin Aries as the NXT champ. That guy's fucking amazing too, But again, that's all I really got to say for that. Getting into the actual predictions here, let's start with, again, Austin Aries versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the only title match. This is the only non-title match announced so far for the card. And goddamn, this is a match I'm looking forward to the most, This is going to be amazing. You got the TNA star versus the IGWPPW. All right. New Japan Pro Wrestling. All right. The face of TNA versus the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling colliding in NXT. It's fucking amazing. I'm really looking forward to this. My prediction is going to be Nakamura. He's the babyface right now. I did watch how they had their little face-off, I think, last week. And goddamn it, I think this is the first time we've gotten to see him actually talk, Shinsuke. And goddamn it, this guy is a charisma magnet. I love him to death. I really wasn't that familiar with him before TakeOver Dallas, but now I've been looking this guy up. I fucking love him. I've seen some of his matches now, and I can't wait till he debuts on the main roster because this guy is amazing. Also, we got Austin Aries here. I fucking love this guy too. Again, I didn't really hear it. Of course, I heard a lot about him. I heard a lot about him, a lot more actually than Shinsuke. But that was because, TNA is in the actual United States, and, everyone makes their jokes about TNA. And when he signed, it was a big deal. I think I made like a 10-minute video about it, and I was like, I don't even know who this fucking guy is. But now I do. Again, he's the heel going into this, and Nakamura is the babyface. Again, prediction is going to be Shinsuke, Again, this guy is fucking great. So is Aries. They're going to blow the roof off the place, and it's going to be amazing, Up next, let's talk about the women's title match, Asuka versus Nia Jax. This is, again, I really haven't paid much attention. But again, Bayley versus Asuka at Dallas, in my opinion, it wasn't that good of a match, in my opinion. I heard a lot of people liked it, and it was a really technical match. I watched it. I didn't really feel that way. I wasn't really a fan of it. But again, Asuka's the new champ, and that came out of fucking nowhere. So pretty much Triple H is building her up like fucking crazy. He's buying into it. And my prediction is going to be Asuka. I really don't have much to say. I don't know much about this. All I know is that people like Asuka, and everybody hates Nia Jax. I think that's how it is. And I don't even know if Asuka's a heel or babyface, because she beats Bayley and she says, "Oh, girl, I'm angry." But then Nia Jax, I believe she's the heel. And it's just confusing. Again, prediction for this, I'm going to go with Asuka. Now, these two matches up next, I got a few things to say, all right? Let's talk about the main event, okay? The first ever NXT Steel Cage match, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. And goddamn, this is why I love NXT, okay? Other than because they don't shove content down your throats, like it's just 1 hour each week, okay? And maybe that is too little. I'd like to see what if this wasn't developmental? And this was like the real deal. I would like to see a 2-hour show once every week. No main event or superstars and Raw and SmackDown, all that shit. And I understand for the main roster, that's what needs to happen. But the reason that NXT, everyone loves it so much is because, again, and then like these events, they come around 4 times a year. Whereas pay-per-views, everyone gets sick of them because, of course you got Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. And I get you could say Survivor Series, but those 3 are pretty much the only pay-per-views that people care about. Hell in a Cell, yeah, I've seen it before. Extreme Rules, it's the same stuff. PG, blah, blah, blah. That's what everybody says. So it's interesting to me because, and then this 4 times a year, and everyone gets so excited because this barely happens, and this is where all the matches actually mean something. Instead of Vince, who says, all right, next pay-per-view, let's think of stuff. It says in NXT, it's rather like, okay, we got to build up for this huge match. No rematches or any of that shit, unless you're Balor and Joe. This is like their 3rd fucking rematch. That's fine. It's all good stuff. So, and again, this is the first ever Steel Cage match. And the reason I get it, this is kind of a new promotion. It's been going on for like 3 or 4 years now. NXT, the NXT brand, not FCW and all that shit. This is like a new brand. And the reason that it means something, like this Steel Cage match, it means something. If this happened on the main roster, say at Money in the Bank, no one's going to really care because it's just so overdone, and they have been easing it back a little bit, but this is like, okay, shit. When stipulations are added to NXT, we've had 2 ladder matches, a few no DQ matches, and that's it really, there's nothing else. Fatal 4-way matches sometimes, but again, that's it. So this is just amazing. How they're going to have a Steel Cage match. I'm really interested. I'm not a fan of Steel Cage matches at all. One of my least favorite match types, the Steel Cage. I fucking hate it. Hell in a Cell, that's a different story, but the Steel Cage, it's just, I'm not a fan of it, And then, but this, like, I'm really interested to see this, And nothing against the main roster, but I'm really interested to see this. My prediction is going to be, this is hard to predict, though, because part of me says, all right, Finn Balor, they're buying into this guy so much. And Joe, he's a bit older, so maybe they just want to get him to the main roster, And then that's it. And then they want, they're buying into Balor, and they're going to make him the first ever 2-time NXT champ. So that's what part of me is saying. The other half says, okay, Joe, because Balor, he's this big name, and they got AJ Styles and the club going on in the main roster, so why not bring Balor up? So that's where it's pretty hard for me. But my prediction is going to be Samoa Joe. All right, that's just what I got to say. I don't know what the future holds for Balor. This is really hard for me to predict these two, but I'm going to go with Joe just because, I don't know. You know, I really want the first scenario I said to come true, where Balor is the first ever two-time NXT champ, and I really want to see Samoa Joe on a fucking main event, their main roster. You know, I think a few weeks ago, it was at some small gym at NXT Live again. You had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe at some NXT Live again event. You know, you could see basketball hoops. And this is like the match of the century. So that's why I'm really interested to see both of those guys, Nakamura and Samoa Joe, and then Aries. And, you know, pretty much everyone, you know, go to the main roster. But I understand NXT needs some talent right now, and that's fine. My prediction, though, is going to be Samoa Joe. Getting into the final match I'm going to talk about here, the Revival versus American Alpha. Not much to say other than I'm going to go with American Alpha, and I fucking love those guys to death. I was in love with their match at NXT Takeover Dallas. It was amazing. I really liked it. A huge fan of Justin Jordan. Everyone's like, oh, Gable. You know, I fucking love Gable too. I love both of those guys so much, you know. I think pretty much out of everyone on this card right now, everyone you see on screen, I paid attention the most to Shinsuke Nakamura and American Alpha. These three guys, I love them. I think Jordan and Gable work so well as a team. You know, they're both former Olympians, and they didn't do so well in the Wrestling Olympics. So then they're here. Now they're the NXT Tag Champs. I think it's a great story. It's a gimmick that has been done a lot before, you know, but they make it creative, and I love it. Ready, Will, and Gable, fucking love it. My prediction is going to be Jordan and Gable. And nothing against the Revival. Those guys are pretty good too. But yeah, you get what I'm saying, all right? So going over this, final predictions, Shinsuke Nakamura will defeat Austin Aries to become the #1 contender. I think it's the #1 contender match. I'm not sure, though. Asuka versus Nia Jax. I'm going with Asuka. Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. I'm going with Samoa Joe. And American Alpha versus the Revival. I'm going to go with American Alpha. Thank you guys so very much for watching this NXT Takeover the End predictions video. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. And be sure to check out my Instagram at instagram.com/PipeBombCity. Thank you guys so very much for watching. This has been Pipe Bomb City, and I will see you all next time.